Hello, greetings. This is like take two. Yeah, I guess my hard drive is started making this real irritating noise, so I had to stop it. I think it's all right now, but anyway. This is a new website. I'm kind of following what I did yesterday. I'm giving you like an internet update. This is much needed. This is a new site. I had to have another version that didn't look very good and just didn't function very good. It took like hours just to fix something kind of stupid. So anyway, you'd be surprised how long it takes to do one small little thing. So this is the new site. It's not fully finished yet, so you can still go to the old one. Private sessions is working. You can submit a question. I was going to add events, just a page. Just a basic page, but anyway, we'll be doing that again some other time. And the way the web link is working for logging in, yeah, it's a little bit repetitive here, but it's. I was going to add the new members portal, but I had to redo everything. So anyhow, so here we are again. Yeah, the hard drive is making a squealing noise, and I thought I could make it through. I wasn't sure what it was. It just started right when I started recording. Yeah, big surprise. And it's kind of cool out right now, so some of the weather might be playing with their electronics. So I thought I could talk through it, but it just couldn't concentrate. It just got louder and louder. So anyway, I just kicked it around a little bit, seemed to have worked. So as for go back to the subject of website creation, just to give you a little bit of update on if you go into healing and all that, and you want a website, I guess there really aren't that many great choices. There's Squarespace, Weebly. They're all a little bit pricey. Depends on what you want. Not much. It should be pretty decent. What I'm using is WordPress, and it's everything takes 2 hours or 3 hours. I built it, and I had to rebuild it. I didn't take this much time building Squarespace, but anyway, you can have more function doing this, and you can have a new members portal, which you cannot do it with Squarespace, so I had to move over. Didn't want to, but it's like, anyway, so that should be up tomorrow, hopefully. Well, it's supposed to be up today. So anyway, here we are again, and I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I should be going to bed right now, 8 o'clock, but it's all right. So I was going to do a little bit. I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm going to do more of this type of. This seems to go pretty good. As for, it's kind of like, I guess, somebody emailed me about the teacher situation. Maybe. Yeah, I guess I'm changing tunes. It's conscious channeling, but also is I'm evolving like anybody else. And the idea is how to evolve more. Well, the idea is to bring more of a positive vibration into an environment. Doesn't mean you have to bounce off the walls with a big smile on your face. I don't think that's going to work anyway, because I'll just drive everybody nuts. So, but being calm and not worrying about anything does help quite a bit. It's funny, where I went to eat, the girl there said everybody there was miserable, so that was interesting. And I was just tired. I just want to take a nap there. So anyway, I'm working on a couple of things behind the scenes. I'll be making that public eventually. I've been tired all day. So, but I have been connecting to a couple of like astral connections, which is rare for me to connect with. Usually people have astral dreams. I'm in connecting not an astral, but when you lay down, just mind your own business, you're just relaxing, it seems to connect then. And sometimes this stuff has been coming on by itself. So only thing I got from like one of my other aspects is on the other side of the universe. That's about all I received. There's more to it, but I don't remember what it was, because it wasn't that important. That's another thing for astral connections is go by just what do you think you are doing? You know, some people ask about what am I doing? Well, what is it that you can't think of anything? Well, give yourself some time. Imagine what comes through eventually. So what we're going to do here is connect to whoever is here and see what they have to say. Also, this would just be coming through. You know, we'll go for a half an hour. Try that. So I think I just looked at that, but I've been staring at the screen for a long time today, and seeing this thing squeal is not a surprise. So I'm glad it's not doing it again, so it's very hard to concentrate. So anyway, we're going to go from here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Palladians are here. Most of the Palladian Arcturians are usually here. Yeah, they say that many are going to begin to connect with more of the animal-like aliens, you know, your elephants, salamanders. Salamander comes up quite a bit for some reason. I haven't really. Syrian salamanders, something like that. Okay, many Russians come from Sirius. Some do, at least. Let's see here. I guess the Russians, they brought, there are Russians on other worlds. They're not called Russians. Seem like the Syrians seem to be, one moment. It's another race altogether. It's not, well, it's not called Russian, but they're not really saying who they are. The Russian aliens? I guess so. And that's yeah. Well, you can call them the Russian aliens. That's a new one. I never thought about it like that. The Russian, I guess you have the American aliens and the Italian aliens. Yeah, they're not called that, but that's fine. That's one way to connect. But a lot of Syrians incarnated as Russian because they're very similar as for attitude, and of course they reincarnate everywhere. But many of them are within Russia. A lot to do with the architecture, but of course that's everywhere. But a lot of the red square is Syrian from their planets that are kind of reddish, red kind of vibration. I don't think Mars wasn't always red. I think Mars had some sort of. I see Mars is red even when it's not red. When it's, you know, like our world, kind of. I do see maybe like a reddish tint to it in some ways when it was functioning during its time. It does seem like it had like a reddish, some sort of red vibration there somewhere. That's my feeling on it, anyways. I never thought about that with I don't see why not. It's the alien Russians and the American Russians. I mean, all this stuff comes from somewhere. I mean, yeah, we create it, but it's called. I mean, we called it Russian for us, we called it American for us. It all comes from a different vibration that we haven't really connected to. Call it whatever you want to call it. But this is all part of us awakening. We get to know more about there's so much stuff we got. There's so much stuff to know. It's just, it's like going through your going through your basement and you're just mind boggled. And that's basically, of course, we're doing it spiritually, or however you want to call it. But this is going to, download into not just us, but others over time. So as we further awaken, this is going to be the norm. It's a lot better than, our reality is great and everything, but, it does have a lot of limitations, doesn't it? Not to say those limitations are bad. They have their purpose, but definitely, I mean, such as like video games, like video game makers, they're creating their own worlds, but anybody can do that. They just don't realize or can tap into it. Of course, a lot of it has to do with your intuition, your abilities. And I believe everybody has that. It just maybe not here for that in this incarnation, but definitely everyone has that. Yeah, everyone, we're all, even when you evolve higher, you're still going to have certain talents that you're here to perfect or to utilize. You're not going to have talent forever. I think it's mostly on the other side. The other side, I guess, I guess it's drama. There is some sort of drama there, but it's not perfect. But then again, we're not perfect. I mean, a lot of people that come here bring their karma here. And it's not always from an alien incarnation. Some of it's coming from the other side. They're bringing their stuff here. And on the other side, they can be kind of a pain in the butt, probably. I can see that. It's just when they come here, that's magnified like by 1,000 because it's more negative energy here. Not to say on the other side they're very negative, but they might not always have the characteristics that everyone's like thrilled with, but everyone's accepted. So it's like, I don't believe it's in a negative vibration. It might not be an easy vibration to deal with, but I don't think it's negative. But I do believe there on the other side there is a positive and a negative side too. How that works exactly, I don't know. But I believe so, and I believe they do conversate with each other too. I don't see why not. So, and the darker side is more the lower astral vibration, and the other side is connected to more of the positive astral. But of course, in the positive astral, it does have a mixture into dark and light, of course. And the lower astral is, at least my version of it, that's for those that commit suicide. Those that don't cross over very well, they get stuck. I believe that's lower astral. I forgot who it was that mentioned about, I can't think of her name. She was talking about, she does reverse speech. I can't think of her name. It was really fascinating. It's before I got into all of this. About, her husband was into it also. She did reverse speech and heard reptilians talking, saying not so very nice things, like with George Bush, the old one. And just like you get more of, you reverse their speech and you hear a whole another story there. And it's not very pleasant. So she was connecting more to the lower vibrations, but she said that in the lower astral, there's a lot of, human feasts. Let's put it that way. I mean, we're the dinner. That's what she said. So I don't doubt it. So, but those that cross over, that get stuck, that don't cross over, they go into the lower astral. I believe they see what they want to see. Just like what, they get trapped, they're connected to their negativity. Not everybody gets stuck there, but some do. And then some go into a reincarnation process also. But I believe that a lot of this is those that get, from my feeling is, those that get, go to the false light. A lot of that is part of their mission. It's part of their test. So not all of us are going to be part of that. Some will be. Those that are less awake, most likely, because they didn't connect spiritually at all. They're not connecting to anything. And you're on their deathbed, they still have a lot of anger and rage and just, if you have a peaceful, if you're just cool with everybody, I believe you can cross over pretty good. You're going to be all right. You don't understand it all, but you're going to be okay. You believe in some sort of heaven. Like my grandmother, she believed in some heaven. She didn't understand it all, probably. But she knew she was going to the right place. And she crossed over, right? You're always going to have when you cross over, you're always going to have all your human stuff. That's going to take a while to cool down. Yeah, it takes a while to let that stuff go. From what what she says, when you go to the other side, it's like you're still here, but you're in a place that's a lot lighter. You do see angels. You do see loved ones, like her husband that died earlier. But it takes a while they put you on a bed or whatever you feel comfortable with. Sometimes a rock. Sometimes they take you to the beach. Wherever you want to, whatever works for you to, like dehuman yourself, like deactivate your human Because a lot of people have fear even on the other side because they don't know what they're doing, because they don't know what's going on. But the idea is to be calm, and they do help you also go through a life review during that process. But all your knowledge comes right back in. You know what's going on, but you're still connected to the matrix that's here. It's interesting. That's cool. So it's like it's like being a cocaine addict, but everyone's on cocaine, but they're not crazy. Well, not in our sense, but it's like you're high. You're all of a sudden you're on this massive high. But that's what life is. Yeah, I did a meditation in 2011, and I went to the other side, and I felt, just for a little bit, I felt high. I felt that cocaine. So no wonder when people get here, they just want to, sniff some drugs. Yeah, they want to get back to that. They want to be happy again. They're here, and it's like, yeah, and they're manipulated constantly here. She says it's a lot more complicated now by the manipulations because they know they're losing their power. It's gonna take some time, but the dark ones are losing their grip here. They can see it. They're feeling it happen because the timelines that they used to have control over are releasing from them. Interesting. So every day somebody awakens, of course. But subtle, and they're lost usually once they, when you become more aware of all this, you're kind of lost. Like, what do I do? Where do you go from here? It all depends. Anyone can, this is my grandmother, so anyone can connect to aliens, but you have to be positive that you can do it, but also feel more relaxed about yourself. Don't feel negativity to yourself or others. Don't put yourself down. Many people put themselves down. That's why they have difficulty connecting, because they're not sure of themselves. They want to connect to these aliens and everybody, but they're not sure of themselves yet. More confidence, more love you have for yourself, acceptance, but also love, the better the connection. Silence is good also, meaning you let them talk. Because some people are just jab and jab, jab, and you don't let the being, like, you want to talk to your guys, but you're going da 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 da. How can you hear anything when you don't hush up? So that's okay. There's no wrong. Just that's all right. The indigo children are being born here. More indigos, more. I don't know about indigo children. I guess they're just more aware. A lot of Martian kids are being born here also, with the agenda of awakening up humanity in their own way. Mars is one moment. Russia does have a great amount of. Yeah, this is the Russian edition, if you're wondering. Russia has a lot of awakening portals around it. That's why I'm feeling that vibration. There's a lot of aliens that go there. They're trying to assist it with part of the awakening process. It's a little bit easier there in some places. It's one, they are connecting to Putin in a positive way. It's not perfect, but they're making their rounds. As for visitation, they're allowed to connect with people there a little bit more. So you might start seeing Russian channelers here in a few weeks or so. Most likely you won't understand what they're talking about. Most likely you won't hear from me because the internet is censored also, but it's a possibility. They're working on it. India is waking also, but they don't have means of communication right now. Indians are very connected to reptilians, greys, Arcturians, but different types that we have connected to. Like warrior-like greys and reptilians, because that was a as many places, a sacred ground. India is many ships have like Indian like cities on them to emulate how do you connect to them. I mean, like it's a hologram they put on. Same as they do here, but India is a little bit different. All aliens are different. They do things differently. Um, they, they have a holographic world on their ships, mother ships, and sometimes the small ones, and certain depending on where they want to connect with. Learning about the cultures, how to connect with them, how to bring about an awakening process. They're still trying to figure them out because their culture is a little bit difficult to connect with. There's very many powerful people there. It is spiritual, but in a different way. But they are very highly evolved, as you can tell. Their vortexes are a lot more open, and they're connecting to the vortexes in a more positive way than you might realize. And if it is a third world, it is third world for a reason. There is lower vibrations there, of course, but still the vibration there is still very high. This is why you have their intellect. A lot of them are, not all of them, a good amount of doctors. Their DNA is different, so they can connect a little bit better than others. Americans are one of the most manipulated countries in the world. It's hard to connect to anything. You know, do you see your culture is so, as we call it, dumbed down? It is majorly manipulated. It is that way for a reason. It is. Entertainment is used against us to chaperone us, tell us what to do. They feel like, entertainment is our father. That goes for sports. It's hypnosis in a drastically. Also, it's like music. All this is in our DNA also. Meaning when you see certain images and symbols, colors from these entertainment fields also activates your DNA where you are controlled. It's like you rewrite your DNA so you're fixated on their message. Jeez. It's like it's hypnotism basically. Why am I attracted to this? Why am I attracted to that? It's all done by hypnotism, but on a large scale. It's to keep you focused on material possessions. It's fascinating. Yes, my grandmother passed over, I forgot, 2008 or something like that, 2006. So she's been helping me, and then she came through. That was fascinating. She did. They said they gave out too much information, but enough. Not enough. There's more. That's interesting. One moment. The Pleiadians are here to rewrite history for the better, let humans reconnect to Mother Earth, because that's where the history is. The real history, not the ones you read in your books. It is all within Mother Earth. You need to connect. You want to know about your true history. Now, many will not believe this. At least those are not ready for all this, because some of this information is kind of, it's crazier than you might think. Yeah, it's a mass hypnosis. Yeah, the Syrians wanted to rewrite history to have more control over humanity. It wasn't just the reptilians. The reptilians are more brutal, but they don't want but the Syrians are more enforcers of history. one of the Palladians. The Palladians are at least the ones that are causing issue here. The Syrians made sure that history was destroyed. Not just Atlantis, just history in general. Like who won the war, like in World War II, was fabricated, of course, because, America is the new Germany, you can say. Places for the Nazi connections there. But just look at George Bush and his family lineage. I should tell you something. Of course, yeah, he goes around talking about that all the time. Father Bush, the old one, he's practically not even human anymore. If you look at him, he looks ill, but he's not human anymore. He's in his human skin, but his soul is. He made a lot of deals he couldn't get out of. In some ways, he's self-sacrificing himself right now. To live old, watch himself crumple apart. It's part of his sacrifice. He didn't do everything he was supposed to do either. It was supposed to be more brutal. Yeah, war. I don't know what you call it. World War II was supposed to be a worse war than it was supposed to be. Obviously, it didn't go as planned. So now you're in phase 2. There's phase 3 also, where phase 3 is to clear all that out, clear out the negativity that they are not aware of. They don't. Well, it's not part of their agenda. Basically, watch everything that they created be reversed as humanity reawakens, but it's going to be some time. Humanity has been programmed so much. Yeah, they don't even know themselves too. Yeah, it's. Oh, man. Basically, Anunnaki is rewriting what they did wrong here. The good ones. So it's like we're taking a shift. 2012 was allowing more of the positive ones to come through. 2012, they weren't really allowed here. It's politics. And now they're allowed to rewrite, and there's a lot to rewrite, right, to fix, basically. Rewrite like DNA, awakenings, things of that sort. Not, just let people connect easier, become more of themselves. Many are in the trap of negativity because of their higher self contracts. Well, it has to do with that. They just can't let go of what they signed up for. That has a lot to do with it. Some of them can't do it. They have to stay where they are. Not to say they're skeptical of all this, it's just that they don't connect with it. Not here to connect with it. You're going to see that a lot. Not to say that what we are doing, you could call this what we're doing bad. It's just they don't connect with it, so they just move on. They ignore it. Each generation will get easier. We're on the beginning of it. We're connecting more to the sun. There's much knowledge there because a lot of our portals go into the sun, a higher dimensional sun, where you can go through time, space, the universe, all through the sun, that we are unaware of. Anunnaki do it all the time. And they don't have fear. But a lot of the Anunnakis that are here brought their fear to rewrite our DNA, our points of view. The negative Anunnaki that are here as humans haven't let go of their old ways. Let's see here. Many of us see the mother of Jesus differently. That she's like a rock star. She did a lot more than just have Jesus. Walking around crying all the time. She didn't, yeah. Well, if you watch that movie, that's all she did. She did a lot more than that. She was a pretty strong woman to put up with the crap from other people, yeah. Because kid, the chosen one, or however, yeah. People are, she said a bunch of people around her were such assholes. But she made her stronger. She was very strong during that time. And there's so much not written about her that she's kind of hurt by in some ways, but history would be rewritten about her. And she was like, meaning a modern day Wonder Woman, she can do the healing same as Jesus. She did it more with children because of disease. Yeah, she was a lot more active, more with children. That was not written in the Bible. Just younger one, not just babies. But that's where she wanted her healing practices from him. But and Joseph also. Joseph was the protector, like watching the door, watching her back, because there was a lot of people they couldn't trust, and so he had to be the one that was the protector. It was harder for a woman to protect herself back then. So he was, because he wasn't a healer. He couldn't connect to that, but he was well aware of his position. His position was to be a guardian, basically. With Archangel, it was like Archangel Michael. We connect to Archangel as a guardian of her, of Jesus, and so much has been written. Jeez. Bastards. Jeez, it's just all of humanity will be rewritten. It's just a mess here. A lot about, just jumping around to Julius Caesar. Yeah, he was a man's man, but he was very lost and manipulated, and an idiot for not seeing what was coming. He wasn't too involved with his women. He had other. Cleopatra is one of them, but that wasn't the only one to really notice what was going on. He was a pampered fiend of some guy. He was not a traitor in a normal sense, but he wasn't always to be trusted because she knew him. This is my grandmother's message. This is helping her also. Didn't see this coming, that's for sure. He sacrificed his children also to war, putting them in danger basically when they got older. I think he had sons. He just wanted to see what they can do. He didn't care if they didn't come back or not. He was a bastard in that way. He was just very cruel. Cruel to women too. Lost. His ego wasn't as bad as the generals, as some of them wanted to get rid of him too. Many were just out to get him. He did not see it coming at all. Not really. No. He knew people hated him, but he didn't think they were going to kill him. Yeah, he knew he was hard, but he didn't think people were going to kill him. He didn't think they would go to that because he felt like he was a god. He felt like he was a god. And nothing could happen to him. And he learned that lesson, didn't he? Yeah, it seemed like he was pushing buttons a little bit too much than he should have been. He wasn't respecting anybody anymore either. He was just, a lot of history didn't get that. Not all of it's wrong, but he was just very cruel to people that were around him, belittling them and just a power-hungry monster. And of course, others have followed. He was no different in some ways. Many after him got worse. The gene pool was sick. Yeah, it was a cruel time to be alive, but things haven't changed all that much. It's just different. And back then they used music against people, for manipulation. Poetry was used. The gods were used. Whatever they can think of were used against the people. Manipulate them so the leaders can get what they wanted, so they can have power over others. And they knew that even the gods that were created, like was it Jupiter and whatever they call them, they still manipulated the teachings so they can get what they wanted. There's not much text about them. There isn't. Not really. I think they're not like a Bible. A lot of it was destroyed. Enough of it. Doesn't matter. It was just false. Reptilians are ruling most of the minds at that time. Anunnaki left. The reptilians, they stuck around but at a distance. The reptilians are mostly rolling around in the show. For the most part, Anunnaki showed up when they needed to. They would disappear and cause their chaos and then leave. But they were, you could call them the puppet masters. They would appear when they wanted to. They appeared in man also and not care. And now times are different because now you have media. If you didn't have the media, more of them would be showing up. Yeah, you don't get very visitations from Anunnaki. Back then they had a lot. Reptilians too, but reptilians would use people against each other. That's where they got their high. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting. No, that's a. You go on and on. So on a lighter note, well, that Mary stuff was fascinating. So on a lighter note, do you have anything positive to say? Jeez. But it's good to know this stuff. At least to get that perspective. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Nero is such a bastard. His teachings are still being taught now. Many are still following his way, but they don't mention it. They don't talk about it. And Congress is completely bought, and that is where you see a shadow elite working. Is where you see that Congress is doing nothing, is because they're told not to do anything. Your congressmen aren't always aware because they're being manipulated behind closed doors. They don't. It's not like they go into a room and just talk to the shadow people and then, oh yeah, the shadow people said this. It's not like that. I don't. It does seem like they are giving messages and they are manipulated in different ways. Some do meet them, but they forget about it. They might meet someone in a room or somewhere, be told what to do, then they'll forget that someone told them that, and they'll just have a whole different, like a bill or something. People come and go within Washington, but they're not seen. Well, they are, but nobody knows who they are. It doesn't seem like they have a mind. They're wizards. They're magicians, you could say. They use technologies on them also. The CIA, a part of it governs our government, at least, United States. But in secret. The cabal is right behind it. unseen. But they are here, and they're doing most manipulations. It's a form of CIA. It's doing. That doesn't. It's It's not mission. They knew about Snowden. They let him be. Some wanted him to get out there to show that, see what the public would do. And notice there's not much outcry. There's, of course, a good amount, but not enough. They were testing the waters to see what people would do. So they knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah, I don't think he's just. I mean, what he did was good, but he's not fully aware of what's behind him either. He has an idea, but he doesn't realize. He was let out. He was allowed to escape, and there's a lot was working around him to allow him to get away with what he understand. Yeah. If it was really crucial, he would be here. So they know what they're doing. And if there is anyone that is a true whistleblower, they won't be here. As you've already seen, like Max Spears, basically. They'll have an illness or something like that. Notice how Snowden's doing fine. There's a reason for that. In some ways, it's like a public execution, but not really. In some ways, it's unknown right now. But anyway, they did let him go. Yeah, it's like a bargaining chip. He's used for political tactics, and he knows it. And so it's just done on a public. So yeah, if you think the shadow government doesn't know anything, you might want to think again about that. They see everything. You're going to walk out with their information. You're going to see it happen before it happens. Not that naive. Who watches the watchers? It's not NSA that's watching. It's another group it's a shadow elite that watches them. The shadow elite are used. I mean, the NSA is manipulated by the shadow elite. But they don't know it. They know. You don't realize it. They're not supposed to. They just say like that those with schizophrenia are sent messages from the shadow elite, but a lot of it's using NSA technology to do so. But the NSA is not aware of it. And there is a shadow part of NSA, but it's not called NSA. It's more shadow government. Doesn't really have a name. Doesn't need one. But you won't see these people. Yeah, they know what they're doing. But they know that you are around, or me, or whatever. You're not that stupid. But even they know they're coming to an end. That's not soon enough. They're going through a transitional period also of a lot of the NSA will be shut down, but made new, more secrets, more espionage beyond our imagination right now. More drone warfare, robotics are coming in. Well, it's part of it. All right, I gotta get going. So that was interesting. I wasn't expecting all that. All right, much love, blessings. Hopefully that was entertaining or educational, I should say, or entertaining in some regard. But this just lets you know you can do the same type of connecting. If just give it time, This is this is the new phase of this channel. It's fascinating. I want to say this. I was talking about doing a podcast type of video, but maybe I'm technically I'm already doing that. The Sunday stuff. But we'll just go with this and see how things go. So, I might do the podcast. I might, where I'll bring some people on and talk. Maybe we'll see how things go. Everything's at night. I should tell. So, all right, much love, blessings, and happy channeling or happy connecting.